The new Congress isn't even sworn in yet, but still only 39 senators voted to ban earmarks, even after the clear message delivered by the Tea Party on Election Day. Our next guest argues that both Republicans and Democrats are part of the same political party, the big government party. Joining me now is Reason.com's editor, Nick Gillespie. Nick, it's a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch. Now, you and I have stated this many times. We don't even have a two-party system in the country. It's one big government party with a Republican wing and a Democratic wing. Let me guess, you were not surprised when the Tea Party ban failed when they tried to enact it earlier this week.
No, not at all. And unfortunately, I think it really spells a lot of trouble for the country and eventually for the Republicans. But, you know, this issue, this election hinged on spending more than anything else. And in any election that I can think of, you know, the issue was not deficits. The issue was out of control government spending. People know we have enough revenue to pay for services that government should provide.
Right.
They know that we have been spending far beyond that. And the Republicans got elected not because they were good on spending issues, but because they weren't Democrats. And unfortunately, I don't think the Republican leadership for sure has gotten that message.
Did you rejoice on election night, internally or externally, when the Republicans got a 60 or 61 or 62, whatever it is today, vote majority in the House, remembering, as I know you did, this is the same Republican Party that authorized illegal wars and voted for the Patriot Act and TARP and stimulus and federalized education and prescription drugs for seniors. I could go on and on and on. Stated differently, what's the difference?
Yeah, you know, and this is the piece that I had earlier this week at Reason.com was, did the midterms matter? And, you know, the short answer is they probably have not, because the Republican Party is as bad as the Democrat Party, and we know this for two reasons. One is that they controlled the government from 2000 to 2006 and blew the stops out on the budget. They were awful. They put us in war. You know, on every level, they were awful. This time around, right before the election, the guy who's going to be the new Speaker of the House, John Boehner, released his pledge to America. And guess what? His pledge to America was that he is going to do essentially the same thing that Barack Obama and the Democrats are talking about. If you parse out what spending cuts were in the pledge to America, they are minimal at best. There is no serious spending reform here whatsoever.
Is it fanciful for people like you and me and many of our libertarian friends watching us now to expect that the government would realize that Social Security is unconstitutional, not take grandma off it, but let's not force Junior on it, decide that we really don't need the government to tell farmers how to distribute wheat with the Department of Agriculture. We don't need the feds telling local school boards how to run schools. We don't need $3,000 coffee pots aboard submarines. Are those days going to come about, or are we doomed to government growing continuously no matter who runs it?
Yeah, you know, this, I mean, you know, this is the issue, right? Especially from a libertarian perspective. The reason I have some hope is that for the first time in my lifetime, and I suspect in yours as well, Judge, you know, we have had a national movement against spending, against government spending. I don't remember that ever before happening, maybe not in American history. So, you know, something is afoot. And there are good people coming, at least rookies coming into Washington this time around. People like Rand Paul is certainly up there. Mike Lee of Utah. There are a lot of people up there who are serious and who are saying, and they have some allies who are already here in D.C., saying, you know what, spending is out of control, and it's out of control because our understanding of what government is for is out of control, which is another way of getting back to that constitutional issue that you raised.
I just hope that the people whose names you mentioned, along with others whose names we haven't, have the courage of their convictions to say to the big government Republicans, as well as to the Democrats, this is a line you shall not cross. Enough is enough. Gillespie, it's always a pleasure. You're always welcome here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.